Hello, everyone. I wanted to speak to this in some ways. Everything that's going on is very personal for me. I came to this country, the United States. I came from Ukraine soon after the dissolution of the Soviet Union. My family and I were granted refugee status to come to the United States. Now, when I'm around town, I'm on the train, and people look at me, I'm not the refugees they're talking about. Why is that? Because I'm white. Exactly. Something I want to talk about is making sure that we are not allowing racists, white nationalists, neo-Nazis, the alt-right, as they try to relabel themselves, frame the conversation we're having. What they are afraid of is not refugees causing terrorism. They are racist. They're not afraid of me. Even though honestly I came here and I've done some time in prison for some things people might not approve up against the government. I did my time. But people still are not going to look at me and worry about me because what they're worried about is holding up white supremacy. And I go on Facebook, I watch the news, and I see a lot of misinformation. I'm sure we all know about the fake news sites on Facebook that everybody complains about. We know all about the lies that are told by police advocates and Republicans and also Democrats on the news. We hear about the war on cops and how there seems to be a cop murdered every day. And it's not true. Cops are being murdered less and less. It's been going down for years, for decades. What has not been going down is people murdered by cops. And I also want to talk about what the white nationalists are doing. Because this is not about a few people who might be racist, have tendencies, they might be conservative. We are actually facing organized groups of white nationalists. People who want to see the United States as a safe haven for white people. And they have a long-term strategy. They've been working this for years. And even the government, which is infiltrated by a lot of these people, acknowledges that. For many years, the government considered white nationalist groups to be the #1 threat in the U.S. above Islamic terrorism, which is another smokescreen. And if you look at the actual facts and the data, which a lot of people try to cover up, who was the #1 demographic? And who are they associated with? The #1 group that has killed people in acts of terrorism in this country. Who is that? Right-wing white nationalists committing acts of terror, like we saw in Charleston, South Carolina. It's not Islamic terrorism, the numbers are much more. And so when people talk about, we've got to create a Muslim registry and we'll figure out what happened. I saw a meeting the other day, I found it kind of funny, people were talking about creating a white male registry until we figure out what's going on. And it's funny, we can laugh at it, but if you look at the facts, if you look at the data, that makes a lot more sense. And I think it's important that we educate ourselves about the facts, about what's actually going on, so that we make sure that the conversation is more real. It's about what's actually happening, that we're not going to allow these illusions to be spread. Because a lot of these people that voted for Trump, they've been told misinformation for years. And it's important that we're able to tell them what's really going on. And it's hard. People aren't going to always agree with you right off the bat if you argue with them and tell them the facts. They're going to resist that. Their ego's going to get in the way. They're going to want to continue to be right. But they're going to walk away, and if they keep being presented with facts, with data, we're seeing people out here, which I'm very proud of everyone here. I wish there were a few more people out here. It's really important to consider everything that's going on. But it's important that we're not just reacting to what's going on, but that we are actually working to create a better world. That we're the ones working to spread information, to spread equality, to take down capitalism. I agree with some of the things that have been said very strongly. Because if we keep reacting, the people that are for racism, that are for white nationalism, are always going to be ahead. So, like I said, there's not that many people out here.
Yes.
There's maybe 30, 40 people. There's a lot you can do. There's a lot of work you can put in, a lot of people you can reach out to. And it's important that we're not just waiting for that moment to happen when we see racism or sexism. A lot of us are going to see that. Maybe very soon, maybe down the line. It's important that you do something. But it's also important that you're not just waiting for that moment. You're creating opportunities to defend people, to be ready, to create a more equitable society, to take down the institutions, because they're not going to make it easy. Like was said before, there have been, I think 25,000 bombs were dropped in Middle Eastern countries, majority Muslim countries, just in 2015. And I wrote about this a couple days ago on my Facebook when I saw that, that was after President Barack Obama, who received the Nobel Peace Prize while these things were going on. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But they're not going to make it easy for you to stop that. They're going to ask you for your consent. They're going to do that far from you, behind closed doors. So you have to go out there and actually try to stop it.
But not asking.
I also want to speak to the Muslim registry that people have been hearing a lot about, have been getting up in arms about. I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions about that as well, because that's been going on. And what they're talking about is when immigrants come into this country, having them registered. So I hear a lot of people talking about, oh, if they create this Muslim registry, I'm going to go and I'm going to register as a Muslim. Well, you're not necessarily going to have that opportunity. You're already here. You're not immigrating. You're not going to be in those offices.
I was going to go. I was like,
it's important to do a little more than that.
Yeah.
And frankly, if you're,
First thing you hear about
what people are talking about, actually demanding that all Muslims, regardless of citizenship status, have to come and register themselves, if all that you're willing to do is also register, that is not enough.
we struggle over those things.
We have to make sure we take down these institutions. If it gets to the point of actually registering people based on their religion and their ethnic background, that is way too far. And by then we have already lost. So I think it's very important that we are proactive against this. And it feels very reactionary right now. Maybe that's not right. We're reacting right now because it's gone to this point. That is not okay. It is not normal. And so I hope everyone here does more than just come out. They organize. There's some people to talk to here that lead great organizations that have been doing work for years, for decades. I appreciate all of you, and I hope we continue doing this and being proactive and making your voice heard and making sure we're framing the conversation, not just responding. Thank you very much.
I was like, hey, I agree with you.